Hello, this is the explanation for the lesson 7-3 part 1 practice. Send me a message and tell me that you've watched this video and tell me what you think about it. Was it helpful or not? I notice a lot of people aren't watching these even though I'm giving them to everybody. But you know how it goes. Some people try hard and some people just can't. Okay, so we're solving these by factoring. So a couple requirements. It should be equal to 0 before you start factoring it. This one is already equal to 0. So we can go ahead and factor it, make our ACP chart. A is 2, C is negative 11, and B is negative 11, and C is 5. So I'm going to do 2 times 5 and negative 11. Well, 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, since our AC is positive and our B is negative, that means both of our factors will be negative. And I can tell that's going to be negative 10 times negative 1, because negative 10 plus negative 1 is negative 11. So in our box, we'll put 2x squared and 5. And the 2 in the middle should add up to our B. That's why I put an X on it, okay? Because they have to add up their like terms to add up to the B. And then to find the numbers on the outside, we GCF. What is the greatest common factor of 2x squared and negative 10x? Where they're both even, so I can take out a 2. And they also both have at least one x in common. So 2x will go there, which means I need x up here. And then what times x gives us negative x? Well, that would be negative 1. And then what times negative 1 gives us positive 5? Well, that would have to be negative 5. And then we can double check by multiplying all the outside stuff together. But we get 2x minus 1 times x minus 5 equals 0. And now we can solve these. Write two separate equations using the zero product property. Okay, if you have a product that equals 0, then one of those things that's being multiplied has to equal 0. So I set each one individually equal to 0, and then I solve. 2x equals 1, x equals 1/2. Add 5, x equals 5. So our answers are x equals 1/5 and x equals 1/2 and x equals 5. Okay, number 12. So remember, the first thing we need is for our equation to equal 0, which is not the case here. It says equals 5. So we're going to make it equal 0 by subtracting the 15, because 15 minus 15 is 0. And I'll get x squared plus 2x minus 15 equals 0. And now we need to factor it. This is one of those easy ones because a is 1 here. So I just need factors in negative 15. A is 1, B is negative 15, and A is 1, C is negative 15, and B is 2. So I need factors in negative 15 to add up to 2. Well, since our 15 is negative, that means our signs will be different. So I have a feeling it's going to be 5 times negative 3, because 5 plus negative 3 equals 2. So if you want to skip the box on these easy ones, you can, because we know it's going to be x plus 5 times x minus 3. It's just going to be those numbers that we found. The 5 and the negative 3. And then write them separately. Set them equal to 0. Minus 5. X equals negative 5 plus 3. X equals 3. So our answers are negative 5 and 3. Okay, on 13. 13 is already equal to 0. Perfect. So we can go ahead and start factoring it. Notice that your A is not 1, it is 3. Our B is 1 though, and our C is -4. So make our A, C, B chart. A is 3, C is -4, B is 1. So I need factors that multiply to give me -12 and add to give me 1. And I can already tell that's going to be 4 times -3, because 4 plus -3 is 1. So we'll make our box. And fill it in. Our 3x squared goes here, our -4 goes here, and then the two empty ones, 4x plus -3x, add up to our b term, our x. And then GCF, greatest common factor for the outsides here. So to get this spot, we look across. What do 3x squared and -3x have in common? Well, they both have 3, and they both have x. Never factor out a negative for these two, okay? These two should never be negative. And then that means our top just is x, because x times 3x is 3x squared. And then to get this one, what times 3x is -3x? Well, that would just be -1. And then on the bottom, what times x gives us 4x? Well, that has to be 4. And then we can check the last box by going 4 times -1 is indeed -4. So our factors are 3x plus 4 times x minus 1 equals 0. And now we have to solve them. 3x plus 4 equals 0, or maybe x minus 1 equals 0. Subtract 4. 3x equals -4, divide by 3. X equals -4 thirds. Add 1, add 1. X equals 1. So our two answers are 1 and -4 thirds. Okay, and then the number 14, because you're supposed to do 11 through 14. Number 14. So let's check. It is already equal to 0. So we need to factor it. We notice that our A is 6, so this is going to be one of the more difficult factoring problems. But good thing we learned a way to work it out. ACB. So A is 6, C is -5, and B is -13. So -30 and -13. So this one might not be super obvious to you, and that's when we can just try out some things. We know it's -30, so -1 times 30 is not going to work. -2 times 15, well, that's actually going to give me +13. So that means it just needs to be 2 times -15. 2 plus -15 would give me -13. Good. So our box, oh, ugly box. I've got 6x squared here and -5 here. And then these two in the middle will be 2x plus -15x equals our b term, our -13x. And now I look for common factors. I can start on the top here. To find this one, I look down. What do 6x squared and 2x have in common? Well, they're both even, so 2, and they both have an x. And then for this one, I could just check 2x times what gives us 6x squared? Well, that would be 3x. And then what times 3x is -15x? Well, that's going to have to be -5. And then for the last spot, what times 2x gives us 2x? Well, that has to be 1. And then we check the last. Negative 5 times 1 does indeed equal negative 5. So we've got 2x minus 5 times 3x plus 1 equals 0. And now that it's all factored, we can just solve it. Zero product property or zero product rule, I've seen it called both. 3x plus 1 equals 0. Add 5. 2x equals 5. Divide by 2. So x equals 5 halves minus 1. 3x equals negative 1. Divide by 3. X equals negative 1/3. And our answers are 5 halves and negative 1/3. And here's all of it at the same time for one last look. Send me questions in a message if you're confused by anything. All right, y'all have a great day.